Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NBA player props video. Today we're going to try something a little bit different and just go through some of the data live because we don't have a lot of player props for these games yet. So I'm just going to try this, see how you guys like it. There are a couple of bets that I already do have. So yeah, let's try it. First, let's go ahead and jump into the recap of, well, the other 2 days ago. I didn't do a video yesterday, but 2 days ago we did have one. And then we'll get into the picks for today. Okay, so a couple of days ago, I gave you three best bets. I gave you Con Knipple under 17.5 points, and he cooked us. So I just figured with Brandon Miller coming back, he wouldn't get the same sort of usage, and that was not right. So Sexton was the one who lost out in that game, and he crushed this. I think he had like 28 points. So, well, I don't know if it was out. It was a lot. It was much more than this line. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope over 4.5 rebounds and assists. He did not get us there, did not get the usage that I was hoping for. So bad call. And then Jonas Valanciunas over 6.5 points, 8 points, just steady guy. He's cashed quite a few slips for us, so I like 3 or 4 now this year. The lean, I gave you John Collins under 21.5 PRA. That one did hit. And then Duncan Robinson over 1.5 assists as a bonus bet for plus money. That one also hit. And then for today, I gave you LeBron James over 6.5 assists. I put that out on X, and it was plus money when I put it out. It was minus money, like juiced heavily by this morning. So that is why I post things on X, because I know that the lines are going to move. If you guys don't have an X account, I don't know what else I can tell you. That is where I can post it to get it out to people the fastest. So if you have a different idea, I guess, of where I could post those early, then let me know, and I will think about it. Okay, so getting into the picks for today, I do have one game bet for you today, two game bets actually. The Raptors versus the Cavaliers plus 115. So now both of these teams are coming off back-to-backs, but the Raptors played the Nets at home, and they were able to kind of obviously get an easy win there. And then the Cavs are traveling on the road after a win against the Clippers. So where they didn't have Jarrett Allen playing, and so Donovan Mitchell did play quite a lot, and he had a big game. So he might cut back a little bit in this game. I mean, he's going to have to play. But the Raptors have only lost 2 home games. One was to a Bucks team that had Giannis early on in the season, and then one to the Rockets. So 2 good teams, right? Those are the 2 the 2 home games that they've lost. They've already beat the Cavaliers twice. Both teams are going to want to score in the paint, but with the Cleveland Cavaliers, 40% of Donovan Mitchell's points and 60% of Darius Garland's points come from above the break, where the Raptors rank 5th, which is probably why they got the win both times, the previous 2 times that they played. Cavaliers, on the other hand, they have 2 road wins against teams above 500, the Heat with no Bam Adebayo playing, and then a legit win against the Pistons, but the Pistons were coming off of a back-to-back. So I don't think the Cavaliers are in a good spot right here. And I just think the Raptors beat them again. So I'm going to take the plus money for 115 for the Raptors at home. And then the Trailblazers at the Buccaneers, this is plus 117. To me, this is a 50-50 game, like very much a coin flip game. Obviously, Giannis is not going to be playing, and that makes a huge difference in my opinion. Trailblazers have played okay this season. I wouldn't say like super great. They're coming off a back-to-back against the Thunder, but they didn't play their starters full minutes. So they played their bench very, very heavily, took the L that they knew they were going to take. I think they're going to be pretty fresh for this one against a Bucks team that without Giannis is honestly a bad team. And so, yeah, we'll take the Trailblazers there in an away game off a back-to-back because I just think they're in a really good spot. I have one best bet for you as of right now for player props, and that is Scotty Barnes over 4.5 assists. I just put this out on X. He's over in 63% of games this season. That jumps up to 70% on the road. Okay, you guys, so I am going to take you through kind of the bets that I've been looking at, but there's no lines out for them yet, so I don't know what the line is going to come out at, and I don't know what the price is going to come out at. So besides Scotty Barnes' assists, I was also looking at Brandon Ingram's assists here, and it looks like it's bumped up to 4.5 already, so it's starting to come out, and it's coming out at 4.5. It was coming out at 3.5, but I looked it up on PrizePicks, and it was heavily juiced. Which it should be because, he has 100% hit rate versus this team. And then on the season, he would have been over that 3.5 line like 75% of the time. So I'm not surprised that Sleeper already bumped it up to 4.5. Maybe you'll find it at Prize Picks at 4. But I think going in on Scotty Barnes at 4.5 for an even payout is good enough. Yeah, so I'll just take that, I guess, and we'll just move on to the next one. So let's see. Next one here is Kobe White for an alt line. So they're playing the Pelicans. Oh, it looks like the lines are up now for this Bulls game. Okay, guys, so I want to go look at Kobe White's rebounds and assists. So since he's been back, he's been assisting great. He's been rebounding okay. So his rebounds and assists, he's been over this 7.5 line that is coming out. But I think it's going to show up really at about 8. Looks like PrizePicks is supposedly offering it at 7.5 right now. But I don't know if that's actually true or not. So I want to end up taking an alt line here. If we go back to the historical data, he's been over this almost every single time against the Pelicans, except for one game where he did play 34 minutes and they lost that game. If you can get it at 6.5, that would give 100% hit rate to the head-to-heads, and then on the season 100% hit rate in only 3 games. So I know it's a small sample size, but even if you look at last year and you look at the away games last year, so that is one alt line that I'm considering if they're going to offer it to us. Looks like PrizePicks is offering Kobe White at 7.5 rebounds and assists right now. I think that's a decent play. And then I think 6.5 is a really good Goblin line play. So I don't know if I'm going to be going in, I'll put my final plays in the video tomorrow probably. But I don't know if I'll go in on the alt line 6.5 or the regular line at 7.5, maybe a little sprinkle on both. All right, so the next one here that I wrote down in my notes section, and we already did those. Mikal Bridges, points and rebounds. So we want to look at that. So the Knicks are playing the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, obviously not a good team. So starters may not play their full minutes. This season so far, Mikal Bridges has been over his points line in away games 100% of the time. So that is why I liked this. At home, 44% of the time, but away 100% of the time. And then head-to-head against the Brooklyn Nets with the Knicks, he has been over this line in 3 out of 4 games, including once earlier this year. So that's 75% of the time. So I like Mikal Bridges on the road in a blowout to get, a little extra playing time or even just his normal playing time. And let's see if those lines are out yet on PrizePicks. Yeah, those are not out yet. Let's look at the rebounds. So the rebounds here on the season, he's been over 3.5, 67% of the time, a little bit better on the road, only missing it 1 time. So if you want to go in with points rebounds as well, 18.5 is the number that it's telling me that it should come out at, then I think that is a decent play as well with the points rebounds line, just because he has a decent hit rate there. So if we can get the points at 14.5, or if we can get the points rebounds, I would say like 17.5. I think 18.5 is a little bit too much. Yeah, let's do 17.5. And head-to-head, he did not quite get there. So it's a little bit better on points. 14.5. So I've got that written down to look at that when it comes out. Okay, Royce O'Neal on his 3-pointers. We've already taken Royce O'Neal a bunch of times. So let's take a look. So if you look at the shot chart down here, the Rockets ranked 27th against, the perimeter here, against above the break threes. And that is where Royce O'Neal shoots 67% of his shots. So I believe his line probably will come out at 2.5, but it might not be an even line. So if it's an even line, I do want to take it there at 2.5. If it's not an even line, like if it's heavily juiced, then I'm not necessarily going to take it. So looking at the hit rate here, he's hit it 75% of the time. And whether it's at home or away, it's still above 70%, so it doesn't really matter there. And then in head-to-head games, he's with Phoenix, since he's been on the Phoenix Suns, he's hit it 50% of the time. And home, a little bit better at home, which is where they are playing. So I really do like this one if it comes out at an even line. If it comes out at a juice line, I'm not going to be taking that. But I might take a look at his just points line, 11.5. I think that obviously this is a revenge game for like Dylan Brooks. Like not really a revenge, but like they had that big trade. Now Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks are going up against Kevin Durant, except that he's not playing. Then on the other side of the ball, I think that Amen Thompson as a guard is going to get quite a few rebounds because like the Suns are just going to be shooting threes. Like it's going to be raining threes. So if this line really comes out at 5.5, which is what it's telling me it should come out at, then I love that. I definitely want to take that. In away games this year, he's only missed it once already. So even if this comes out at 6.5, I might be tempted to take that line. And then head to head, let's take a look. Yeah, head to head, he's hit it pretty well. Most better at home. They are playing away, but I love this 5.5 or maybe even 6.5 rebounds line when it comes out. Obviously, I like 5.5 better, but if it comes out at 6.5, I'm still going to be thinking about it. All right, so that is Amen Thompson's rebounds. Okay, pods. Let's take a look at the Warriors. So the Warriors are going to the Jazz, and it is a good 3-point matchup for every team against the Jazz. They give up a lot of threes. And I told you that if there's a good matchup for Steph, then we always want to look at pods and look at his 3-pointers. So I guarantee that this line's probably going to come out juiced. But if it doesn't, if we get this at a regular line, head to head, he's hit this 71% of the time. On the season, he's hit this 55% of the time. And then at home, he has hit it a little bit better. But if this turns into a little bit of a blowout, then Pods is going to play a few more minutes, which he tends to do against the Jazz. If you can see, 40 minutes, 32 minutes, 25, 21, 31. So 21 is the lowest he played. Really 25 is kind of what we're looking at for him against the Jazz. And so if this comes out in an even line, I want it. If it's juiced, I don't want it, but I might switch to like points or points and assists, maybe just assists even, because he has just a really good hit rate against the Jazz. And on the season, he's over 61% of the time. So he's been assisting more than he usually does. And he's been taking other shots besides shooting from three more than he usually does this year. But that's what I like. All right, next one here is going to be Isaiah Collier in the same game over his rebounds line, which is kind of seems strange, but again, he's a guard. The Warriors are going to be shooting a lot of threes, so maybe he gets a few more rebounds than he normally does. If we look at the minutes here, the rebounds follow the minutes. So 26 minutes, didn't hit it. 16 minutes, he did. 27, he did. 25, he hit it. 37, he hit it. And then 21 and 14 minutes in the last two games, and he did not hit this line. This is like a risky line, so I'm not going to necessarily go in on this unless I feel confident about Isaiah Collier getting his minutes. And so these are just my leans for right now of what I like. The other thing I like is taking alt lines in the Timberwolves and Kings game on on Julius Randle, who has a good scoring matchup. So maybe taking an alt line on him. I don't know what they'll offer us, but if they can give us like 18.5, then I think that would be a good alt line for him. Or Jaden McDaniels. So if we can just get like 12.5 for Jaden McDaniels, I mean, if they'll give us 9.5, I will obviously take that. But he has pretty good head-to-head data against this team, going back to last year and the season before, and then, of course, on the season. So if they give us 9.5, for sure we're taking that. They'll probably give us 12.5 at least. And I still think that we can take the 12.5 as an alt line. I don't like the Timberwolves playing their starters full minutes in this game. I think this is a look-ahead spot for them because they're playing the Thunder next, even though they're going to have some rest in between, at least a day of rest, I think. But I still think it's more of a look-ahead spot. I think the Kings could accidentally end up winning this one just because the Timberwolves aren't playing their starters like the full minutes. And that's why I like someone like Jaden McDaniels to get a few more points than he normally would. I don't dare take the Kings players just because of their rotations, and clearly they're trying to lose games. So I just don't trust that. But I do think the Kings could like sneaky win this one on accident. All right, that is all I have for you right now. So for right now, I mean, all you can do is just leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe for the cash prize giveaway. But we don't have two best bets yet. I'm sure we probably will once these lines finish coming out. But for right now, that's all we have, guys. Let me know what you guys are seeing in the comments as well. These lines just aren't coming out late enough, and I don't want to stay up and wait for them. All right, thanks. Bye.